Welcome to The Worthy Woman, a podcast for the intuitive, ambitious woman who's ready to regulate her nervous system, reconnect with her body, and rise to the next level of success, health, and purpose. I'm your host, Jo, manual osteopath, holistic coach, and nervous system guide, here to walk with you as you heal from the inside out and create a life and a business that actually feels good. On this podcast, we explore the connection between your body, emotions, subconscious patterns, and your ability to lead, create, and live from your worth. Let's get into today's episode. Hey friend, before we dive in, I just want to let you know that my program, Elevated and Embodied, is officially open. We have got an epic Black Friday sale happening, and if you've been feeling stuck in your business, overwhelmed, or like something's been holding you back, this program is going to give you the tools, the support, and the guidance to release blocks, regulate your nervous system, and finally feel aligned and confident. Spots are limited because I want to keep it super supportive, so DM me on Instagram to grab your spot and get the sale details. Welcome back to The Worthy Woman. So today is a different kind of episode, and it's kind of all about like how we're not meant to do things all on our own. I think especially as business owners, but as women as well, and just the way society honestly has kind of gone, we've become so independent, which is so beautiful, but we often try to do things alone, and our journey through entrepreneurship can also feel very lonely, especially if you're maybe you've met people online. This is what I find kind of in my life right now, where it's like I have a lot of entrepreneur friends, but they're like virtual. I don't have as many of those people in my personal life that are really, really close that I would like maybe share things with, right? So there's an element of our journey where we're meant to work with people, and people just like you and me are trying to do. We're here to support others, right? Just like those other people are there to support us. And I think it's that this is so important because I know for me, I'm a very independent person. I don't really love being told what to do, truthfully. And so sometimes it's like, I always feel like I have to just like do it on my own. I was kind of taught that a lot growing up as well. And so I wanted to share a story today about how working with somebody in my own journey has really supported me and helped me and created a transformation in my life. And so in the summer, I decided to start working on my health. And I was like the heaviest I'd ever been, really not loving the way I was feeling in my clothes, and my confidence was like, I don't want to say it was tanking, but I just didn't feel like myself, like when I thought about myself and envisioned myself, it wasn't in the body that I currently was experiencing. And I also knew that there was this disconnect between like, okay, my physical body, because I know that, we hold on to, we hold on to weight because it's a protective thing, right? It protects us from energies and that sort of thing. So I was like, this is probably blocking me in my business as well, right? Obviously how we show up, and I say this all the time, like how we support ourselves and how we nurture ourselves, it does impact our business. And I was like, okay, I need to start taking this seriously. Like I'm doing the, more nervous system stuff, but I really need to get my health and all of that under control. So last week I had weighed myself and I'm officially down 12 pounds. So I'm super excited because one, this is the longest I've ever stuck with something when it comes to like weight loss. And two, this is the most amount of weight that I've ever lost. So usually I would kind of get around the 10-pound mark and I kind of would, pull back, right? And I think what's interesting is, obviously I had a desire to feel better in my body. Things weren't working. But I was also like, I need accountability. I knew that as someone who's educated in the health world, I knew all the things I should have been doing. We all do. Most of us do. We all know some even small change that we quote unquote should be doing to improve our business, our health, our life, our relationships, right? But actually getting to the space where, one, you're ready, and two, you're able to make that change, those are very different things, right? So I was like, I don't even necessarily need so much of like a health coach in the sense of like someone to tell me what to eat and blah, 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 because I do like variety. So I like to be able to choose what I eat. I don't love meal plans, but I was like, I need macros. I need someone to like figure out like, you know, what I should be eating, or how much, I guess, in some ways I should be eating. And I need someone to kind of help motivate me to get back into, you know, doing and doing this, the nutritional side of things and the movement side of things, like both ends of that I was really struggling with. So I actually hired a coach, and she's technically a nutrition coach, but I would say it's more of like, she's almost like an accountability coach, honestly. I chat with her once a week, and, you know, we adjust things, and she's like, okay, what's coming up for you? Like, you know, is there any emotional eating? What were like the events that you had going on in your life? Like, what do we got coming up this week? So we can kind of like better plan and prepare and all these kinds of things. And so it's been really helpful to keep me on track, because I know that every week I have someone that I have to talk to. And if I'm not following, you know, the program, or at least trying, right? Because it's not really about being perfect, but it's about making a little bit of an effort and slowly shifting like over time, because I'm really trying to heal my relationship just with like food and movement as a whole, and not just do a diet and then like gain everything back, right? Like I'm really trying to actually change my whole relationship with it. And, you know, obviously paying her is skin in the game, but then meeting with her every week and having to report back, and I have a whole nutrition tracker thing and, you know, whatever, that is even more accountability, knowing that like I'm going to have to face her in a week from now, right? And so the journey has been interesting. Obviously there's been weeks where like it doesn't feel like anything's really changed. I was questioning, you know, like, is this really working? Because, you know, obviously too, you're like, I just want it to happen all right now. And I have a long way to go, right, to get to where I feel is healthy and appropriate for me and my body. But what's cool is when like, you know, sometimes in the journey it feels kind of slow initially, but when you look back to where you were, you can see actually how much change there's been, and that you haven't really been that far off the mark, right? And so, you know, again, there was weeks where like nothing really changed, the scale didn't change, I didn't feel much different in my clothes, and then all of a sudden I would, right? Then there'd be days where I'm like, I'm questioning if it's working, and then I would have those results and I'm like, okay, it's doing something, right? Kind of like when I took my weight measurement last week, right? And just having someone in my corner has been so helpful, to have someone walk beside me, not shame me or make me feel bad about things. She would adjust things based on what I was needing or what was coming up for me. And, you know, she doesn't let me give up on myself on the weeks where like I want to. And if I am imperfect, or I, you know, slip up one week and I eat a little bit more or whatever, it's like, okay, well, like just get back to what's the plan, right? Instead of just like making it this whole story and then like totally, you know, just like exiting side left, you know what I mean? Like that's what I would normally do. Be like, oh, well, I fucked it up but anyway already. So like, you know, who cares? So this experience has made me realize that, and I knew this already, but I think like having my own change and transformation in this is so important, because it's like, it's teaching me in a way. And sometimes I hear people say things or I experience things, I'm like, I knew that, but it almost like brings it to light again. And, you know, we all have these blind spots. We all have these gaps, and we all hit walls that we can't really see, right, that are around us. And that change that we're trying to reach becomes so much more possible and faster when we have someone who's helping us navigate them. And it's the exact same thing in business, right? We can't see our own energetic leaks. We don't notice where we're self-sabotaging ourselves. We don't even notice sometimes how we're speaking about ourselves, our programs, our offers, whatever, right? And so then we get stuck wondering, like, why isn't this working? When a coach could have seen that block very quickly and maybe even sooner, right, than what we would maybe notice things. right? And so this support that we can get, it doesn't just help you change, but it helps your nervous system feel safe while changing. Like me working with my nutrition coach has helped me realize like she's grounding me, right? She's supporting me in this, and I know that she's in my corner, and I know she knows it works. And so I'm riding on her belief a little bit too, and it's helping me and it's helping my nervous system. And then I get the belief as I see the change start to happen, right? We regulate quicker when someone's mirroring back to us this sense of safety, right? And her sense of belief in knowing that it works gives me belief, right? And then we don't waste time and months trying to figure out like what's wrong, what's the thing that I should be working on, right? So this is exactly why I created Elevated and Embodied, because when women who come into my world are usually doing all the things they're like supposed to be doing, and I know I was this person, I felt like I was doing all the things I should be, and I was like told to do, but then it was like this disconnect of my body, my energy, my nervous system, like kind of working against me, and also just not really feeling on board, right? Like there just still felt like there was this gap that I was missing, right? And I was stuck in this survival mode while trying to build a business, and without the support, I kind of would just kept like spinning my wheels, right? Like nothing was really changing. And, you know, when you're not doing this healing work alone and you're not regulating alone, you're not trying to second guess your blind spots or your gaps, right? And you don't have to hold it all by yourself, then you feel so much more grounded and secure in and supported in that change that you're trying to create, and it starts to feel possible and sustainable, right? That's what I've experienced through my nutrition, is just like, and I've noticed it in coaching too, with like my business stuff when it comes to like strategy and that sort of thing. But I haven't really found people like that necessarily teach nervous system stuff in a way that is, everyone's trying to teach you their method. Everyone's trying to teach you their technique. Everyone's trying to teach you their process. And as much as I have a process and I have tools and I have things like that, for me, coaching is less about what I do, and it's more about who are you, as in my client right now, where are you trying to go, and what changes do you need to make? Maybe it has nothing to do with my tools. It might have everything to do with your relationships, your life, your boundaries, things in your life that need to shift and need to change in order for you to feel better. And those can be scary, and those can be hard choices and decisions and changes to make. And so when you have someone in your corner, it makes it not easier, but it makes it, you feel more supported in it, and you don't feel so alone in it, and it doesn't feel so isolating, right? So having people in your corner is huge. And I mean, I'm not even done with my transformation and my change when it comes to my health journey and my business and all this other kind of stuff. But finding the right coaches for you and the right support for you is literally game changing. It's going to change how fast you progress. I would not, if I didn't join and sign up with my coach in July and knew that I was ready for it, I would not be where I am right now with my health and my weight and my nutrition doing it on my own. I probably wouldn't have really ever started, or I would have started something, felt it wasn't working, and given up because there was just none of this accountability. I didn't have someone rooting for me and saying, you can do this in your corner, right? So if you're listening to this and you're tired of trying to do all of like your business stuff and your nervous system healing and all of that kind of stuff like on your own, you don't have to, right? You're allowed to have the support that you probably desire to have. You're allowed to have someone in your corner. And so if you feel called to work with me with regards to nervous system and energetics and kind of that, the background stuff of business that not everybody, kind of looks into, Elevated and Embodied is open. And I also am planning on opening up single individual sessions. So these are going to be called business energetic breakthrough sessions. They're 90 minutes. They are $97. And in the first hour, we're going to go through like, okay, what's going on with you? What needs to change? Where do you need support? Where, that sort of thing, like kind of more we'll say the strategy side of the energetics. So not content and all that other kind of stuff, but like what's going on in your world, in your business, in your energetics and your nervous system. And what do we need to do, or what do you need to do to change that? And then the last 30 minutes of that appointment will be a Reiki session for you to kind of like recalibrate your energy. We can focus on any of the intentions that come up through the first hour. If there's certain limiting beliefs and that sort of thing, we can work on clearing that in the last 30 minutes. So if you're interested in something like that, probably the easiest is to DM me on Instagram. You can email me as well, but email me, either just say you want to know more about the breakthrough sessions, or you can just comment breakthrough, like whatever kind of works for you, but feel free to reach out to me. I'm only going to have a limited amount of these from now until the end of the year. This is a great way to kind of end 2025 and start 2026, whether you're in full launch mode right now, or if you are in kind of a slower season. Regardless of where you're at, this type of a session will be really supportive for you to figure out your next steps and to realign your energy for where you want to go, right? Oftentimes these two things are not blended together. So this is a really unique offer. So if that's something that interests you, then feel free to reach out to me. So that is what I have for you guys today. Hopefully, like I said, hopefully that resonates. Let me know. Make sure you guys are following me on YouTube. I am now doing some readings and some meditations. So I'm additionally, obviously my podcast is there. That's posted every Wednesday, but then on Sundays, I'm going to be posting additional tips, meditations, readings, all that fun stuff. So definitely follow me over there if you are not already. And yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful Wednesday or whenever you are watching this. And I will be back next week for another episode.